Hey folks, good afternoon and welcome to today's video. Today we're discussing Modern Warfare 2 and its third person mode. This is a game that's just released. It's obviously available on all platforms. I'm sure you all know it. It's Modern Warfare, it's Call of Duty, and the mode third person has returned. This was one of my favourite games to play way back in the day in Modern Warfare 2. It's probably one of the most popular game modes for me, as well as a bit of search, so I was happy to see it return. And I've always felt like Call of Duty should have the third person mode because it does work so well and it really allows you to show off all of the, number one, character models and assets, because this game looks fantastic. That's right, Call of Duty has entered into a time period now where the game looks brilliant. Playing this in 1440p, everything maxed out on my PC, 144 FPS, pretty much locked. Looks absolutely stellar. The game that we're playing right now, we're doing the multiplayer mode and we're playing the Formula 1 track. Obviously, I'm a Mercedes fan, love a bit of Formula 1, watched it my whole life, so this is a cool track for sure. And there was some copyright issues with this track. It was going to get removed, but I felt like the track was too good for it to be thrown away, and they've obviously managed to sort those copyright issues and it's come back. Third person on this game has, I believe, 3 modes. It has hardpoint, TDM, and it has domination. Now, obviously, I'd love to see more game modes. It's currently in a mosh pit style playlist, and I'd like to see more and more game modes added. However, I do understand that third person is a bit niche to the Call of Duty region, so it makes sense to only have a set amount of game modes and have some popular game modes. That way the playlist and the game stay full and healthy, and maybe if people really begin to enjoy it, or it's a smash success, maybe somewhere down the line they swap the playlists around and maybe add in search for a week or two. I don't know, but let's get on to the gameplay. Now, yes, it is third person. It is, which does mean there's a variety of camping that's slightly different. The gameplay is very different to first person. There's almost an element of being punished for running, so to speak, because somebody can be watching right hand, somebody can be led down looking over a block that obviously in first person they wouldn't be able to see you coming. So the gameplay for me is a little bit slower than first person, which I enjoy. I'm not super into the kind of whole knee slide around, go full speed, Mach 10, push everybody. I like to be a little bit more controlled. And it's not to say you can't be fast, because I've had my ass handed to me many a time, and I'm not a Call of Duty like pro or player of any sort of skill. The last COD I played probably was Modern Warfare 2, and I haven't played a shooting game since about a good year ago. Year plus really. So I'm sort of getting the mechanics back a little bit, and obviously I'm getting older, so I'm a bit of a boomer now, but I do enjoy the odd gaming session when I come in, and I think this works really well. Obviously people on my channel are primarily going to be Gears players, so that's why I figured I'd put this video up to showcase how you think the third person works. At the moment I'm finding assault rifles to be very good. SMGs are kind of how they've always been, which are really good. You can rip through people, they give you high movement speed, but generally an assault rifle in third person is probably going to outclass you. But if you can make up for that lack of kind of range and play in a playstyle that really utilizes the SMG, you can be very good. Third person in this, the way I play it, when I've had some success, is not so much the run and gun of first person. You kind of hold a little section, you use the angles that you've created, you hold a little section, and then maybe after 3 or 4 kills you get picked off and you move to a new section, and that's kind of how it is, at least for a player of my skill. I've seen people ripping through with shotguns, I've seen some knifing gameplay. Obviously the game's just come out, and I know people like to talk about the meta and how every Call of Duty is worse than the last Call of Duty and that the game's trash, but for me, I'm really enjoying this. I very much am. I think you get the kill, it's satisfying, there's an unlock, there's content, and I know people online are moaning about skill-based matchmaking, no content, trash game. honestly, just ignore it. I'm going to do pretty much a nice little review for you of the multiplayer in the campaign. maybe in a few more days after I've played the game a little bit more and got a bit more of a feel for it. But a lot of it is very, very overblown, obviously. It's Call of Duty. It is what it is. But this game feels very, very polished. You know, if you want to talk about the campaign, incredible high the art assets and the you know, the cinematography and the scope and the scale of everything's really, really cool. In terms of third person, obviously like this, you can be popping up and down on blocks, which can be quite punishing. You know, I could be pushing and some guy could be third person in me and I'll die. But the way you play the game is you're not really playing Call of Duty to never die. That's not really how the game works. You're not playing Gears of War where you could play a whole game and not die because you're so impeccable. Obviously, someone can get the drop on you with the angle and you will die. But then obviously you know where they are and you can figure a way to get around that situation and how to approach that little sort of area that they're holding. And that's kind of the battle. You're like, oh, this guy's holding this tree and he's got a rock protecting him and he can see me coming because I'm in third person. How am I gonna move around this situation? A lot of the first person players just get frustrated that obviously you're getting third person, but how do you deal with the situation? So me and this guy can see each other and we can see when we're gonna pop out. So I flashed him, waited, and my teammate killed him from behind. Whereas in first person, I might pop out, he might not see that I've popped out and die, or I might pop out and he might have already popped out and I'm dead. Third person, there's that dance and that, like, you can always see the other guy for most of the, you know, most of the fight. So it's very different and I enjoy it. Also, I know this sounds silly because the game's very expensive, but if there were to be any DLC, or I should say microtransactions that you do enjoy, obviously the skins are much more visible in third person. So if you do go and unlock an operator that you like, you can actually see the character. Obviously your gun isn't quite as cool in third person. The gun is kind of, in a weird way, secondary. It's all about the movement and the character model and the gun you've chosen, but obviously you're not really scoping down sights and stuff like that. The only time that's really going to happen is just like that with a full sniper scope, or I believe an ACOG. But the way the game works is even the people that are scoping, you're losing so much vision and it's not oppressive. So I was a big fan of that. I was a really big fan, and they actually changed this game from the beta. What used to happen was when you would be third person, but when you aimed down the sight, you would go first person. So pretty much the game was all first person, and I was umming and ahhing whether to buy it, and I decided, yeah, I'm not going to buy it because realistically, that's not third person to me. However, after the beta, in fairness to, I believe it's Activision that made this game, they've gone ahead and changed it so you're always in third person apart from the scopes like it used to be. So I think it's a good change, very good change. You can see that me whiffing shots, managed to crack in there, but it just feels, how to word it, feels like heavy. The reload feels, you can feel like he's really jamming the magazine in, you can hear it all, the animations are clean, graphically it's very good, and I've been very much enjoying it. If you head on to my channel, there's a little playlist down below called My Unlisted Archives, and that's where I post my Twitch streams after I've done streaming to them. And I'm sure there'll be some third-person gameplay in there. So if you just want to have a skim through and just see how the game looks to you, to get a much better representation, then feel free to do so. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment, leave a like. I'm not going to say I'm going to start doing gameplay commentaries because I'm most probably not. But you might catch me streaming this game. You might catch me uploading the odd random clip if something incredible happens, but these days I'm pretty trash, so let's be honest, that's probably not going to happen. But this was probably one of the better games I've played, and I happened to be recording, so I figured I'd just post it and let you guys know that if you're interested and you're a little bit bored of Gears or the game you're playing, you can play some third person. And yeah, there's not that many game modes, and there's, you know, there's not 1,000 maps on this game. But if you ever do get bored, you can play some co-op missions, you can run through the campaign, or you can play some first person, which is still really enjoyable. I still really do enjoy first person, and I've yet to try that. I've just been playing third person, so maybe I enjoy first person even more. Who knows, that could be the case, but third person plays really well. I think if you're into it, you're going to enjoy it. Like that, for example, you could call that camping, you could call it, oh, he's abusing third person. That's just the way the game is, and if you play Gears, that won't annoy you. Like, that doesn't annoy me, that's just part of third person. If that irritates you and you think, oh, that looks scrubby, then fair enough, that, you know, the game's not for you. But it does play well, and COD just has this weird thing of, it just feels smooth. Like, it just feels really, really smooth. They've just nailed it, really. I think the game's really good. I think it's a solid product. There's been Call of Duties in the past which I've thought are terrible. And this one apparently is the, quote, worst ever, you know, like people like to say. But honestly, I think this is a really, really good game. I think I ended up spending 49 quid on it. I think I had £10 on Steam. Got it for like 39 quid or something. No complaints, really, so far. I think it's a very, very good game. So yeah, comment, like, let me know how you're playing. If you ever want to link up, we can do. I'm on Battle.net. I think it's cross-play as well, so yeah, we can play some games or something.